Let's jump into our next case. Lamin, are you there?
I'm here.
Wonderful. How's Berlin?
Berlin is sunny and spring is back finally, so easier to deal with lockdown.
Excellent. Okay, great. So the floor or the space is yours. Take it away. Share your screen.
Excellent.
I see your screen. Great.
Super. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lamin Fai, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Buddywise. I'm a converted corporate soldier, you could say. I spent 11 years at Vattenfall, mostly in different leadership positions, amongst others in health and safety and digital business development. And a bit over a year ago, I changed gears and I became an entrepreneur and started Buddywise with my co-founder and CTO, Yit. It's great to get the chance to speak among all these great deep tech companies. The issue with deep tech and AI, though, I always find is that often it can feel very difficult and complicated to get started. And in big organizations, we often use this McKinsey method of looking at innovation in horizon 1, 2, and 3. And deep tech initiatives often get protected or covered under the horizon 3 initiatives, meaning my successor has to deal with any results that we need to actually realize. Personally, I'm too impatient for these kind of topics, and it doesn't have to be that way. So the story I'm going to tell you today is actually about simplicity and speed. Computer vision is one of the most technologically mature fields in modern artificial intelligence. And that's why it's already able to translate into enormous commercial value. And in this short talk, I want to tell you about three things. I want to tell you about what we do at Buddywise. I want to tell you a case to showcase how simple and fast it can be to adopt AI, and what we learned from that case, so you can learn it as well. Starting with what we do, we are an AI platform that aims to improve safety reporting and inspections with computer vision, automated reporting, and intelligent response. Our platform is shaped around three pillars. We observe, we alert, and we act. For us, these three pillars are key. We're not just a computer vision company that detects anything, but we focus on solving the whole problem, from detecting an issue to taking or enabling the right action. But let's do a double click on each of these pillars. So observe is an important first step, and we do this with computer vision applied on video feeds from cameras. And humans perform very poorly on these types of tasks compared to where computer vision is today. Which makes it a very effective way of monitoring because of the high accuracy, even in challenging conditions such as snow or rain, which you had a lot of in the case we will be talking about. And alternatives like sensors and lasers or motion detections are inaccurate and often a single purpose vehicle. We often say that a picture says more than 1,000 sensors. And that's not only a catchy phrase, but it's actually true in the very data-based sense of the word. We can detect and monitor some of the most common safety incidents like trips and slips, whether people are wearing personal protection equipment, respecting danger zones or safety lines. And we also do a security feature called intrusion protection, which we'll talk about more in the case today. Based on our detections, we create alerts for immediate action, but also insights and reports looking at trends and patterns of the data we gather. For example, the use of personal protection equipment, if that starts slipping, which might be a sign of reduced safety awareness. So these insights we provide on top of the alerts that we give. ACT is all about automating the action to be taken. Maybe it's about stopping a machine, or it is to call first aiders or train first aid personnel to the site, or it might even be first responders. We can automate that and make sure that the action comes faster. Now you hopefully know what we do. So let's finally come to the case that I wanted to talk to you about. We came into contact with the Finnish company SH Texor end of last year. And like many manufacturing companies, they are highly exposed to competition and have to watch every euro to stay competitive. The issue in their case was that they have had several issues with theft from the raw materials yard, which leads to losses and delays in delivering to their customers. Here you can see their site, where you see in sunny Tuusula. Didn't look like this when we were doing this project, but in the summer it is sunny, and the raw materials yard, it is the big area that you can see in front of the building and actually also in the back of the building. They already actually had quite a few measures to deal with this problem in place. However, they were all quite ineffective. They had a sensor alarm cable in the perimeter fence, but they had it actually disconnected because there was too many false alarms, a very common issue. They had a guard doing rounds twice a night, but only for 3 minutes each, we found out, and which is a very small window to catch a burglar. And they had a state-of-the-art camera system, but it only recorded the feed, and there was no resources from their side to have someone sit and watch it. So it was more of an after-the-fact system rather than preventive in any way. And the video feed was really difficult to access, especially remotely, which is where you actually need it. What they needed was a system that provides an easy access to view and configure the cameras, that detects when people are in the view of the camera as they are in the view, and can create alerts and alarms in real time without that many false alarms that they have from their sensors, and allows designated person to immediately see what the alert is in regards to. And they also needed to limit what should be monitored, and be able to schedule which cameras are monitoring and which are not. Our approach with working to customers, here is our approach of working with customers. And the first step, defining the use case, is actually the most important. After that, there's a process of developing the solution and testing it in iterations to make sure that we optimize the system and have the right user flows for this specific case. Lastly, we launch it into production. And looking at this process, there's a lot of bullet points, there's a lot of steps, and it might feel like a very lengthy process. But in the case of Texor, it actually took us only 4 weeks to go from the first discussion with them discussing the use case to actually launching it into production. So meaning having done the pilot phase in between. Here you can see the 4 cameras they had installed already when we started, and the good thing in this case, and also why it went so quick, is that they have everything they needed in place to actually get started, which is only an internet connection and cameras. I can't show you the real video due to data protection reasons from what we actually did here, but I thought I would like to show you at least what it looks like, the solution that we provided to them, but applied in a different scenario. So as said, since Texor had cameras in place already, all they needed to do was to enter the IP address of their camera and give them a name. And in a few seconds, they were up and running on the Buddywise platform. They could then easily go into the camera feed and select what models they wanted to use. As said, in this case, we wanted to look for people in the camera view. And we also created features such as scheduling, so they can set up regular hours for monitoring, as they primarily wanted to focus in the evenings. We also set them up with our perimeter setting function. So here you can see you can draw as many perimeters as you want as a camera feed, where it focuses what the cameras are actually monitoring. And as you can see here, we're actually already detecting people, and you can see even at this long distance that we have detected people with quite a high accuracy in the view of the frame. This alert is then sent via an SMS to the designated staff at SH Texor, And the next step for them is actually to find an agreement with their security company that they will receive the text messages directly and dispatch a guard, which will mean on their side a full automation within a 24-hour monitoring at their site. What I really love about our product is that we are able to, in a very simple way, bring things that might feel very complex as AI or computer vision to a manufacturing company, a small manufacturing company in Finland within the space of 4 weeks, and create some real benefits for them within that span of time. It's now up and running for them and has improved the situation and security at that site, their site, significantly. So I promise you some learnings as well, and maybe not surprisingly, you should always learn 3 things, it feels like. So we learned 3 things from this. The first one is to start simple. Sometimes when technology is new, it can be very difficult to think of the biggest or the best use cases, and that's okay. More will come when it starts to become concrete for people what it actually is. The second one is maybe opposite of what you usually do, and that is aim low. AI doesn't have to be a long R&D project that changes everything from day one. As an organization, try to find some of the low-hanging problems that can generate quick value, even if they are small. So taking a first step is almost as important as the end of creating a lot of value. The last is focus. Appoint a project manager, set a short but very intense time frame, and set a clear point when the pilot is done and what the success metrics are. This is especially important when working with when small companies work with big companies. We move extremely fast and are by nature very agile. And the most challenging for us is when a big corporate cannot move at the same speed. So I think having an agreement on having a dedicated, very short time frame is beneficial for both sides. And usually the corporates we work with find it a lot more fun to work in that way rather than long processes that we usually have. I hope you enjoyed this simple example of a deep tech implementation and that you brought something with you. And if you're ready yourself to make a step change for safety, please reach out to me and we'll set up a free consultation. Just email me, lamin@buddywise.co, and I will come back to you to set up a call on your specific situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lamin. Excellent show, excellent case. It's always great to have you with us.